with me.
Hi.
Hey, you guys who are in the chat, can you please let us know if you can hear me okay? I can see that the sound is working. I just want you to let me know from your end that you can hear me. Can somebody type in the chat that you can hear me? Yes? Awesome.
Good.
Hi, Ralph. I see you there. Hi, Evan.
Hi
I
there.
recognize a lot of you guys from comments on my videos. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome, everybody.
So I'm just gonna, we just started about a minute early and I want to wait for people to log on as we said it would be 6 p.m. Everyone, this is my first live chat, our first live chat. I'm having Alessandro with me, partly to help me be a producer and read some of your comments so that I can look at you guys and talk to you. Can't look at the comments and talk to you as well. Hi, Sharon. Sharon's my sister. And we have a lot of questions that you guys submitted in advance. So I'm going to be starting with some of those while you guys start thinking of questions you want to submit. And we're going to just try to get through as many of these as we can. We don't have a set end time for this. We'll just see how it goes. As I said, this is our first live chat, and if it goes well, we'll do more of these. If we can't get to your question for some reason, please just drop me a line in this video because this video is going to stay online after the fact. So you can go back and watch it again. Anybody who didn't make it for today's live video, can watch this video. So you can drop me questions in the video later and I'll answer them if I didn't get to them during the live chat. So shall we dive in?
Sure. Okay, let's start from the
Oh,
questions.
sorry.
Yeah.
My husband's name, Alessandro.
Oh, Alessandro. Sorry. I thought most of you knew about this.
And
Anyway.
it's very nice to see so many of you who are recognized from my videos, comments, and I'm really, really grateful that you're here. Thank you.
Yeah. Perfect. So I'll start with the first question here in order, collected by other forums online, not necessarily in an actual real live feed on the chat. So the first one is, considering we will have less daylight hours, are there any places with extended admission hours?
Okay, I think you mean that because as fall goes on, the days get shorter. But actually the opposite is true. So normal sites that are inside, like St. Peter's Basilica, museums, etc., these are going to have the same hours in the fall. But the Colosseum, Roman Forum, and Palatine Hill start reducing their hours. They start closing earlier with the sun setting. So you want to check on the official Colosseum website to find out the closing time of the Colosseum. And that is going to lead me to another answer to another question that I get all the time, which is how to find the official sites for booking things. So for the Vatican, it's always going to end in .va. If you see a VaticanTickets.org or whatever it is, if it doesn't end in .va, it is not an official Vatican website. The Colosseum is colosseo.it, that's it, or ticketing.colosseo.it. And you can tell when you look at these sites, just look for in Google official website for, X museum. And you can kind of tell because non-official sites sort of look like tour agencies. But yeah, I'll be linking to official sites in this video.
Very good. So
we already have some questions.
we had some questions. So let's run this first, and then we try to interact with this.
We'll lose a couple of these.
Good one, Adam. Like if anybody has any good restaurant reservation for Rome, please let me know. I want to have a one nicer night out with the wife. Okay, so we're talking about a romantic restaurant? Yes, we do have suggestions.
So I've got a page all about romantic restaurants in Rome. We recently ate at Carter Oblio in Prati.
Can you just send
it was fantastic. It's not a Michelin restaurant, but it should be. Like upscale, but not as expensive as a Michelin restaurant, but really, really nice. Sort of minimalist and warm, cozy decor. Wine pairings. It's called Carter Oblio. Yeah.
Oblio. That's Carter Oblio.
And we also have a page about romantic restaurants in Rome, so check that out. We have another page as well called Restaurants with a View, so you might want to check that out.
Sure. Okay, Adam. Thank you for your question. We have another one here on the list. I'm going to go for the next two on the list. So is the baptistry, which I guess you referred to the baptistry in Florence, still worth going to during the renovation? And we say yes, 100%. because of the construction ongoing. We had a tour not recently, about a year ago, and it still was worth it. And it's right
yeah.
there, absolutely.
The baptistry, you can still
100%.
see it. You can still go inside and see it. So absolutely, it's worth visiting.
Yeah.
And I see a question about, is it a good idea to bring binoculars? You know what? We have binoculars and we don't really use them in Rome that much. But if they're small and you like to use them, sure, it can be worth it. You can also use your phone. So if you use your phone or your camera and you just sort of look up, like in St. Peter's Basilica, the cupolas are super high. And if you go around all the little side chapels, there are amazing things to see in all of the cupolas. And if you just use your phone and sort of zoom in, you can see it that way without having to bring binoculars with you. But if you have binoculars and want to use them, then yes.
Another question here. Before, let me thank you, please, Jessica Torres. She says, hello from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Hola, ¿cómo estás, Jessica? We'll be in Rome and Florence the end of October. Your videos have been a great resource for all our questions. Thanks for the information you share with us.
Thank you
Our
so
pleasure,
much.
Jessica. Thank you. Que tenga buen día. So, next question is, hi, we were traveling to the Vatican in August and would love to see, so now, it's, next, Alyssa. So, to see the Pope on Wednesday, audience. So, we were told that we are tickets, but when we sent an email to ask for some, they responded by telling us no ticket were required. Is this specific for August audiences?
So prior to Pope Leo, papal audiences were held in August in Rome. Pope Francis held them in Rome in August, but you did not need reservations during August. You need them the rest of the year. Now, Pope Leo has gone back to the tradition of going to Castel Gandolfo, the apostolic palace there. This is about half an hour outside of Rome, and this is where popes would take their vacations, and he's there, in fact, right now. He is holding papal audiences and Mass and even the Angelus or Angelus on Sundays. His schedule for August is pretty sparse. Now, if you go onto Vatican.va, just Vatican.va, scroll down just a little bit and you'll see calendar, and you can just look up the Pope's schedule. In this moment, he's not scheduled to do very much in Rome beyond a Mass on the 3rd of August and a Mass for the 15th of August, which is a big holiday, the Ascension of the Virgin Mary. So right now his August schedule is pretty sparse. I'm sure they'll be filling it in, but you have to wait and see what it is. But as for your question about not needing reservations in August, I believe that's the case, and it's only for August. So if you're coming any other time, you will need reservations to attend the papal audience, and they're free.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alyssa. So next question from Super Linda Gomes. I know you can't take photos in the Borghese Gallery, but you can take photos without the flash?
Yeah, so the rules for photos differ throughout different sites in Italy, and to be on the safe side, you should always consider just using a camera or your phone and not ever using flash. Video is also very iffy. Most places do not allow or want you to take video, so you should ask before you take video. Flash is usually not allowed, and tripods are not allowed. And everybody probably knows by now that in the Sistine Chapel, no photos, no video are allowed.
Perfect. Thank you, Alyssa. And that gets me to the next question on the list. Are children under 4 allowed to enter St. Peter's Dome? Same client, customer's viewer. What's the weather like in Rome early November? What should we pack? No part of any group do you recommend doing St. Peter's Holy Door first before the Vatican Museum? Complicated one. Thank you.
Children age 4, I believe, are allowed to enter St. Peter's Dome. The place where children at that age are not allowed to enter is going to be the Scavi, the necropolis, St. Peter's tomb. But otherwise, children that age are allowed anywhere in the Vatican.
Yeah.
November weather is really lovely. It's cooling down. October is usually much warmer than people think. I never ever wear boots in October, so November starts to be sort of leather jacket and boots weather. It can be rainy, so you just want to prepare for that. And that's true for Rome and Florence and cities around this area.
Jumping on a live chat, Keck Mountain, hi. I tried super chatting MG, but it's not working. Question, I'm going to Italy alone. Will I feel comfortable eating out for dinner alone? Is it culturally normal?
Oh gosh, I get
Yes,
this question all the time.
Yes,
People
it
eat
is.
out all
Yes,
the
it
time
is.
alone.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I see this all the time. Lunch, dinner, trattorias, fancy restaurants, bars, cafes. People eat out alone all the time. You will be just fine.
No problemo. Thank you for your question. So, Sabi online, is it worth visiting Castel Sant'Elmo in Naples? Can I respond to this one?
Yes.
Very good question. Not a usual spot. I think it could if you have a specific interest, especially for the facade. I don't want to spoil any surprise for you and or other further information. Please log in on www.napleswise.com. You will have a lot of information in this regard. Thank you for your question. Next one. Do you have any updates to the discussion on your website about which Rome passes, if any, to use? Thank you.
So Rome passes, there are different kinds of passes you can get. Probably the most common one is the Roma Pass, which is a pass that you purchase and allows you to visit 1, 2, or 3 sites in a period of time, and then you get discounts on the other sites. This is not really a money saver per se. It's more about having the ease of use. You just have this pass and you go in, but you do still have to book the Colosseum. So I don't think these passes are that great. I think you're better off just getting the tickets that you want for the time that you want them. The passes don't really save you money, and yeah, I don't think they're that interesting. It is interesting to get certain passes if it interests you. For example, the Rome National Museum. There's 1 ticket and it gets you into 4 museums in the course of a week. So if that interests you, then that kind of a pass is good. Yeah.
Perfect. Let's say hello to Maria Garcia. Hello from San Diego. Thank you. Hello to you, Marie. Thank you for chatting with us. So we have a next question online, live. Joseph Bellovari Jr. Hi, Alyssa. My wife and I were in Rome last year in September. I watched your videos extensively to plan a trip. They were very helpful. Thank you. Thank you, Joseph, and your wife too. So next question.
I see a question about the canonization.
Right.
Okay,
right.
Everybody wants to know how to attend. Well, a lot of people want to know how to attend the canonization ceremony coming up on September 2nd.
7th.
7th, Sunday.
Yeah, it's okay.
So it will be held in St. Peter's Square at 10 a.m. No tickets are available. This means it's first come, first serve. Now, I have attended papal events in St. Peter's Square when Pope Francis was alive. I got there at 7 o'clock in the morning, and you can sort of arrive down there near St. Peter's Square, but they don't really open the gates. Then you're going to have to go through security, and then there's a sort of a mad rush. It's literally like people running to get to the good spots. And the good spots are not necessarily in the front. The good spots are actually along the side aisles, because you'll have more sort of breathing room, and you'll be able to see more. So I suggest getting down there as early as you possibly can. The later you get down there, the less chance that you'll get anywhere close, and it's probable that you won't even find a seat. You'll be able to watch from further back on the big jumbotrons. But if you want a seat, get down there by 7 if you can.
Perfect. So let's say hello to gorgeous Geisha from Sydney. Hi, Alyssa, watching from Sydney,
Hi,
Australia.
wow, so
Hi.
nice.
Thank you. Thank
Thanks
you
for
very
joining
much.
us from all the way over there.
Next question is, I booked my Vatican visit at 5:30 p.m. for early September. All the morning visits for the 4 days we are there were booked already. Will a visit at this time be super crowded? I hope not.
So September, for many of you who don't know, September and October are 2 of the absolute busiest months to visit Rome. When I first visited as a tourist, when I first met Alessandro, was back in 1997.
Yes.
I was shocked to find Rome so crowded in September, and it has not changed. September and October are super busy in Rome because everybody wants to come when it's beautiful weather. So Rome will be crowded in these months. Jubilee, no Jubilee, it doesn't matter. Fall months are absolutely beautiful to be here. There's very little rain. The days are long and sunny, but they're not too hot. So expect crowds. That being said, my preferred times to visit most sites, including the Vatican museums, is always going to be first thing in the morning and close to closing. And to visit the Vatican museums at 5:30 p.m., maybe even better than visiting them at 8 in the morning, because
Definitely.
you're going to be more relaxed, I think. And they'll be less crowded than they will be during the day. So you picked a good time.
Okay, now, just very interesting question for Florence right now, Alyssa. We have Jessica Torres. While in Florence, we would love to see some Miniato al Monte and then sunset from up there. Do they have the chance in the afternoon in October as well? Do you prefer the view versus Piazzale Michelangelo? What do you think?
Well, I mean, San Miniato is just up above Piazzale Michelangelo, so they're both beautiful. Either way, you're going to get a similar view. It's maybe less crowded at San Miniato. What's really special at San Miniato is the cemetery. So when you're outside and you're looking out over Florence and you can see the cemetery, it's a monumental cemetery. So it's just lovely and elegant and has beautiful tombstones.
Oh, absolutely. For the chance, Canti, please check out the website and you will have the schedule of the Mass where you can attend actually, and eventually you'll hear the confraternita, the brotherhood, chanting during the Mass attending. So thank you for your question. Next one, I love the fall season at home. Pumpkin spice, lettuce, all the fall decor and pies and hot chocolates. What are some fun fall seasonal decor or treats in Rome to see or experience? Good one.
We do not have big fall holidays here. That being said, Halloween has started to become a sort of a thing here. When I first moved here, people didn't really celebrate Halloween per se, not the way they do in the US, but now we're starting to see a lot of Halloween decor around in the shops and hotels and things like that. So you might see some of that, but otherwise, we don't really do this. We don't have sort of fall drinks. There are Starbucks in Rome now, though. So,
Starbucks
so
in Rome.
if you like pumpkin spice latte, do they?
You will. Thank you for your question. So
you probably can get them at Starbucks.
Thank you. We have another one, I guess, very interesting. So for 7 a.m. Holy Mass in the extraordinary form in St. Peter's, in the crypt, in the Clementine Chapel, can anyone attend? How likely will it be full?
So anyone can attend these masses. St. Peter's Basilica has mass throughout the day in various side chapels. And on the official website for St. Peter's Basilica, it's something like stpetersbasilica.va. Remember that official websites for the Vatican always end in .va. So just look up St. Peter's Basilica.va and you can look up mass times and you can see the full schedule. And yes, anyone can attend. The likelihood of it being full, I used to say that one of the best ways to visit St. Peter's Basilica was to show up at 7 a.m. when it opened because it would not be crowded, but the word is out. And lately there are tour groups showing up at 7 a.m. So there's no guarantee that it will be uncrowded, but it's definitely going to be less crowded than during the day.
Indeed. Yeah. Thank you. Next question, then we're going to respond, Rex. So before responding to Rex, I have, so are you conversant with Venice and Padua? Same question. We've been to Venice. We've watched the Inspector Brunetti series in German language. Very funny.
That's Donna Leone.
Yeah, and are interested to visit, mainly to wander. And there are a lot of churches off the beaten path with good art. Yes, they are. I'm interested in Padua has visited the Scrovegni Chapel. I bet you know, that's it, pretty much. Day visit and night. Would you be inclined to stay in one city, Venice, or do a day trip to Padua, or split the rise? So depends how much, I'm sorry if I take from it. So depends how much time you have, really. But say an average of 3 nights in Venice, and you can get to Padua. It's a 40 minutes driving or a train ride with a local train company. It's called Trenitalia. You can check the schedule. Regional train average ride between 28 minutes and 55 minutes, so back and forth. I would say in Venice, pardon me, and have a day trip to Padua, indeed, to visit the Scrovegni Chapel. For any particular church in off the beaten path, so-called, in Venice, I highly recommend the Madonna dell'Orto, which is like the church artistically known as San Cristoforo. It's an Sestiere or district, Cannaregio. The other one is Santa Maria Assunta, which is the Jesuits church in Cannaregio district. If you wanted something really, really particular, the first one, Madonna dell'Orto, by the way, it's the 10 painting of Tintoretto, Jacopo Arbusti, of course. I'm talking the Renaissance painter of Venice, born, raised, and everything in it was mainly there. And the tomb, actually, of Tintoretto is in that church. Madonna dell'Orto, keep in mind. Thank you for your question.
Evan, that was for Evan. I hope that helped. You submitted that question, and so I hope that was helpful. You guys, the Scrovegni Chapel, if you have never heard of it, is almost entirely frescoed by Giotto, and you could consider it a medieval precursor to the Sistine Chapel. It's one of the most astounding fresco cycles you'll ever see. It is amazing, and a visit there, it's worth going to Padua just to see this chapel.
Right,
So, yeah.
and just to finish at the end, real quick, I promise. Padua, it's called La Città dei Ponti, the bridges city, and Portici, porticos. So again, one day there, it's enough. It's for that. I would stay in Venice, and depends on your time, budget, and everything. But again, so definitely Venice for 3 nights, and a day trip to Padua will make the deal.
Okay, I see. I have no time to squeeze in Trastevere. Am I missing out big time? Everything you don't do in Rome, you're missing out. But you know what? The Romans say non basta una vita. Now, I've lived here since 2001. Alessandro's Roman.
Yeah.
We still have not seen it all. I mean,
No.
we're always
Impossible.
seeing new things. So I always say you cannot do it all, but anything you do will be amazing. So just do what you have time for, enjoy it, and hopefully you'll come back.
Right. Perfect. So I have another question here from the list. Taking the family to Rome, Florence for Christmas and New Year's. Good for you. Nice weather. Trying to decide one a day trip at either Pisa and Lucca, Chianti or Bologna. Logistically, don't want to spend a lot of time traveling to and from. Any thoughts? Yes. Depends how many nights you're going to spend in Rome and Florence. Home base could be Florence, and from which you can move easily around. If you want to rent a car also, it will be easier in that region, Tuscany, rather than in this one, Lazio. And yes, I think Pisa and Lucca, it's on the same route. You don't need a car. You could do this easily by train. You have a train each half an hour from Florence to get you to Pisa in 50 minutes. Lucca is on the way. You can stop and get the same train, which the ticket is available all day. It's not a problem. Yes, I think Florence has a hub, and then you can decide to have a day trips all around. You can do the reverse. You can stay in Chianti region or Siena province, which is a little bit more farther south, close to the borders of Lazio, and enjoy the Christmas time there. The weather is wonderful. You may experience some snow. Shorter days, the meal and the food is going to be incredible. Good time of the year, absolutely.
I just want to say I have a Bologna video in the works. It's with my editor now, so if any of you are interested in Bologna, that will be coming out soon. And it's a kind of a compilation of lots of different trips that we've done or that I've done. And so it gives you lots of ideas of things to do in Bologna, whether as a day trip or as a, stay there for multiple days. We love Bologna. It's an amazing
Bologna.
city.
The food and all that. Oh my gosh, yes, we do. Thank
I
you.
do see somebody asking if we have an opinion for staying on the Via Appia Nuova.
That's
Guys,
right. I was on there.
This is near our house.
Ruth Element. So we literally facing, the Appia Antica city wall or Aurelian wall. So yes, it's a great neighborhood. Spread out quite nicely all over the south city center. We recommend the section of this neighborhood. It's called Porta Metronia. Straddling in between like the ancient Roman walls and the outside of this borders. You walk pretty much in 15 minutes to the Colosseum. You have a very interesting, neighborhood. It's a very alive, full of restaurants, full of local street food. Let alone the fact that you have a better price and better deal you can get than the center, the city center, so-called like the downtown. Though Rome, it's could get 40 minutes from one side to the other. Yes, the answer is definitely yes. It's a good choice.
The Appia Nuova is a little bit further from what we were just talking about, but the Appia Nuova is a really good area.
Yeah.
It's, first of all, it's on the Red Line Metro, so you can get all over the place. You can go directly from that area to straight over to St. Peter's to the Vatican. So it's a good area because it's it's like very neighborhoody, and it's full of services, shops, restaurants, etc. You're near the Basilica of San Giovanni, so this is one of the four papal basilicas. Whether you're coming here for the Jubilee or not, it's a basilica worth visiting. You're near some other things like you said, the Appia Antica, so it is definitely a great area to stay in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Policy for tipping food tour guides. I think tipping is a hot topic. I definitely should make a video about this, I know. And by the way, hi Michaela, and thank you so much. Tipping. So Italy is not a tipping economy. People do not make livings on tips. They make salaries. This being said, there are people who work in sort of service businesses where tips are appreciated. For example, if you take a taxi around Rome or Florence or anywhere else, like a white taxi, you literally do not have to tip 1 penny. If the meter says 4 euros, and well, it would never say 4 euros. If it says 14 euros and 82 cents, then you pay 14 euros and 82 cents. I typically round up and give them €1, and they always thank me profusely because tips are not part of taking just a regular city taxi.
Yeah.
But if you take a car service, like a private car service called NCC, noleggio con conducente, which means
Chauffeur.
a car with a driver, and they help you with your luggage, and it's going to cost you 60, 70, 80, whatever the amount is, depending. If you go to the port, it's going to be more. I would then consider tipping maybe €5 per person, depending on how much luggage we're talking about. So for tour guides, if they're working for a company, they are getting paid. This being said, if they do a really, really good job and you enjoyed the tour, then by all means you can give them a small tip. And this is really subjective. There's not one amount that's correct.
Right, and depends also the quality of the tour, the quantity of people. Like you have like a 30 people group tour, you have a semi-private tour with 7, 8 people, then the quality inevitably goes up, and then you have a private tour. On a private tour, my suggestion is give a good tip, because normally they take care of you in a very good way all the way. They come and meet you sometimes, at your hotel, your venue, your apartment. They stay with you a little longer and all that. So it's a private tour, and then it goes way down to semi-private and a group tour. On a group tour, the €5, $5, whatever you want to say, given to them, it's always appreciated. Semi-private goes by quality. So very happy about that. So please do. Thank you for your question. I have another one, Alyssa. It says...
and guys, I'm sorry, we're trying to keep up with you, but please be
We
patient.
do-
We're working through...
we do our best.
And I'm so appreciative that
Thank
you're
you
all
very
here
much.
and asking questions. Thank you so much for joining us.
So I have a Mary Babe. Thank you for writing to us. I'll be in Italy in December and leaving out of Fiumicino Airport at 7 a.m. Do you suggest staying at an airport hotel the night before? Is the airport train running early enough to use that in the stay of the city?
So when we had our bed and breakfast, we would get this question all the time, because people would say, oh, I'm going to stay 3 nights with you and then go out and stay near the airport. And we'd say, no, don't do that. It wasn't because we were trying to get them to stay in our bed and breakfast.
Right.
It was because your last night in Rome should be spent in Rome. Getting to the airport early in the morning, you have to get up early regardless. And at that hour of the morning, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, you're not going to find any traffic. And I would recommend a car at that point. The train is running. I think it starts running
5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. So if you need a much earlier transport to the airport, you're going to want to book a car, which I would recommend just for peace of mind. But I would spend your last night in Rome enjoying a stroll around Piazza Navona and having a nice plate of pasta and some wine before you head home.
Last piece of information
Staying
for
at the airport.
The Leonardo Express. That's the name of the train leaving the Termini station, which is the central one. It doesn't ever get affected by any strike. So meaning that you have guaranteeing 99.9%, unless there is any problem on the line. But 99% to 100%, I would say it's always guaranteed, even if there is a national strike called at the very last minute. Thank you for this question.
By the way, hi Joan from Kentucky. Nice to see you.
Hi, nice to see you, Joe.
Hi everybody that's saying hi from around the world. It's really nice.
All right. So next one, it's Joanne Ruggieri. Can you recommend a good way to reserve? I know this one we have. I'm sorry, John. Just remembered. So Elaine Richard, can you suggest the restaurants in Rome City Center looking to try something new each night for the 3 nights we will be in this area? So easy to respond.
I definitely can recommend Rome restaurants in the center. We have a lot of pages on the RomeWise website. In particular, I suggest you look at my page about where
Right.
locals eat. Guys, I have to say this. I'm not going to name names. I'm just going to say that I don't think any restaurant in Rome is worth you setting your alarm 30 days in advance and waking up at 3 in the morning to try to book this. There are a lot of great restaurants in Rome, very local. For example, we just recently ate at and we absolutely love Cesare al Pellegrino. Well, it's Settimio. It used to be called Settimio. It was this old school restaurant. You had to ring the bell to go to get in. It's been taken over by Cesare al Casaletto, which is a wonderful restaurant.
Another suggestion, in Trastevere, Checco.
Yeah. So in the center, I would say one of our favorites is Cesare al Pellegrino. That's one of our favorites. And in Trastevere, Checco, Il Carrettiere, this is super local, Roman. I'm a big fan of restaurants that don't tell me that I have a seating time, that I have to arrive and leave. This is sort of a new trend that I'm not loving. So I prefer restaurants that I can book anytime I want. I don't have problems booking, and I can stay and enjoy the food, and the food is authentic. And so those are just a couple, but please check our pages on the RomeWise website, where locals eat in Rome, and other related restaurant pages.
Okay, another question similar to the previous one. I have burnout to joy. If I have a 7 a.m. flight out of Fiumicino, what time do I need to leave Rome to have enough time to make my flight?
Well, if you're flying from Fiumicino to anywhere in Europe, then you need to be at the airport 2 hours in advance. If you're flying overseas, you need to be at the airport at least 3 hours in advance. And so you have to factor that in. Then you should factor in time of day, because if it's, let's say, a Monday at 8 a.m., you're looking at rush hour. But in general, it's anywhere from 40 to 50 minutes from Rome to Fiumicino Airport by car.
Absolutely. We have Donnie Myers asking, do you feel the new rules to manage crowds at the Trevi Fountain are better, worse, or the same as before? Good question, Donnie.
That's a very good question. Yeah, it's hard to say, because on one level, when you go into the line and you get past sort of the security and they let you in, because what it is, it's a barrier, to go down to the basin. That's what they're doing. They're keeping a sort of a control on how many people can be down at the basin. So above that, there's no limit. Everybody just sort of crowds around. Lately, we're seeing the Trevi Fountain crowded year-round, all day long, almost all night long. There is a live Trevi cam, so you can open that up when you're visiting Rome and see what the crowds are like when you're here. But overall, the crowds around the fountain are pretty intense most of the time. So now what's happening is they keep you from going down into the basin until, some people have left. I think they're keeping it at 400 people.
400
And I gotta say, when you get down there, it's really nice, because it's relaxing. You can walk around. Everybody can get their picture. You can spend as much time as you want once you're down there. And it's a better experience for who's down in the basin. It's just a bit of a crush to get down there. So I think it is good, and as long as they don't start charging for it, not for the money, but just I think it will just make it more complicated. So yeah, I do think it's nice to be in the basin and not have to be crushed.
Absolutely, indeed. I agree. Thank you, Donnie, for this question. Next one, it's Jeanette. I just joined. Thank you so much for this. Thank you for joining, Jeanette. So, very interesting question. How's Uber? Uber in Rome. We are arriving in a cruise with a lot of luggage and looking for comfortable transportation to Rome City. Please don't use Uber in Italy. While here, just, please talk to your agent if you have one. Look online for NCC, which is the private transportation with the driver. Be sure to mention the number of luggage you're traveling with, how many people, if you have some people with special needs and so forth. And you can get a quote, different quotes. You have to spend more time online and all that. So again, so if you have someone already did this in advance, just get the name of it. And but please don't rely necessarily on Uber. I'm not saying it's bad. It's overpriced sometimes, and you want to interact with someone that has your phone number waiting there at the dock. I suppose you're coming in from some cruise in the Mediterranean or somewhere else. Civitavecchia is the port. It's average. It's an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 30 minutes drive. So And I can even tell you that this one is going to be, depends how many people in the luggage, an average of 180 to 200 euros. Okay? Thank you, Jeanette, for this
And
question.
by the way, we affiliate with, and we do recommend Welcome Pickups. So this is a good website you can use. If you use our link that we'll put in the description, then you help us out a little bit. They pay us a small commission at no cost to you, but otherwise you can just go directly onto Welcome Pickups, and it's a good, online. It's very easy. You just put in how many people you are, where you're going, how much luggage you have, and they'll give you a quote. And it's very competitive, and they're very reliable.
Okay, I have a next one, which is quite challenging for all of us, I think. Is it possible to do a day trip to Milan from Rome for the Last Supper and Duomo? OMG. Okay.
If you can get a ticket to the Last Supper, because it's not easy to get that ticket. It's physically possible, right? It's what is it?
Okay, so let me tell you this, real quick. I tried to do this in October for me and my wife, and so no tickets available. The tickets normally come up through the website of the Opera, the Santa Maria delle Grazie, which actually the trees that host the masterpiece of Leonardo. And you have to check the website every day for 3 months and see in 90 days span of the availability if there is any available. I would recommend just for the tickets to check the possibility of getting a tickets with a tour in English. Then you have more chances to see available dates and schedule. Then you start from that. Once you book, which is not refundable, by the way, there is no insurance and all that, so not refundable tickets, then you plan your day trip from Rome to Milan to see that. Yes, it is possible. You have a fast train. Use the website, which is italo.com, italo.it or trenitalia.it, and then you find out the rates, available schedule. You have an average of a 3.5 hours speed train, Rome to Milan, 1 stop or 3 stops. It depends. Check on the availability of both companies. Again, italo.it or trenitalia.com, and possibly the tour for the Church of Santa Maria delle Grazie, which includes of course, the visit of the Cenacolo or Last Supper of Leonardo. Thank you for this question. It was very challenging, but it's really nice.
So
Next
Ralph,
one.
I see
Yeah.
Ralph has asked a couple of times, best catacomb to visit in Rome.
Yeah.
We have so many. We have many that have never even been discovered. But of the catacombs that you can visit, oh gosh, I love the catacombs of Priscilla. These are a little bit unusual. They're out on the Salaria, and it's supposedly the first ever image of the Virgin and Child. So this is a really special catacomb to visit. It's sort of I don't want to say off the beaten path, but it's not in the area on the Appia where all the catacombs are. On the Appia, Domitilla is really special because there's a whole church down there where you can even attend Mass. And these catacombs are really amazing. So if you want to go on to the Appia, I would say Domitilla, but of course also San Callisto.
San Callisto, which is the Appian way, the ancient Appian way, the Appia Antica, of course.
Now, many people have heard of the Capuchin Church on the Via Veneto. This is not a catacomb. This is a very special visit where you're going to see these monks' bones that have been used to decorate the walls and some chapels. So it's a crypt. Yeah, it's not a catacomb. And that I do recommend. It's also interesting for kids as long as they understand that it's a little bit macabre. So yeah, I see. Thank you so much for the tip. That was really generous of you.
Thank you.
And you asked about our recommendation for a private driver. Honestly, we use Welcome Pickup. So that is who we use, because over the years, we used to have private drivers, and they sort of fell by the wayside, and we have tried to use some recently and have not actually had anybody really reliable. So we've been using Welcome Pickups, like to take us to the airport and when relatives come. So I would recommend them. Sorry, that's not maybe the answer you're looking for, but yeah.
But thank you for the tip. You're very generous. Thank you. Very nice.
Does Welcome Pickups also bring people to the airport? Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
They take you to the airport, to and from the port, and by the way, to any of the airports, not just Fiumicino and not just in Rome. They work throughout other parts of Italy as well. So.
Indeed. So let's respond to the question of Gina Famiglietti. You must be Italian somewhere, right? So which hilltop town from Rome would you recommend visiting as a day trip? Romani, Castelli Romani. Very interesting. Alyssa, any suggestion? I would say Frascati, Castel Gandolfo,
Well,
Rocca di Papa.
of course there's Orvieto, which is not in Lazio, but it's easy to get there from Rome, and it's
Umbria.
absolutely beautiful. It's 45 minutes from Rome. It's very easy, and
You have a train.
you can see the Duomo of Orvieto, which is astounding. So I think Orvieto is a good option. Assisi is another popular option. I don't think you should visit Orvieto and Assisi on the same trip,
No.
but Assisi is really beautiful, especially to see the basilica there.
But again, I try to sponsor my region, and
Lazio.
again, so the Castelli Romani should be something that really underestimated by the most.
That's true.
And
Frascati
I
is
try
wonderful,
to do this for 30 years and say we have a beautiful, beautiful spot, especially it depends, not in the scorching weather of August, July, maybe just September, October. Very nice. I would recommend the Castelli Romani from the city center to the one of this hilltop town, Castel Gandolfo, which by the way is the largest lake in our region. So it's 45 minutes driving or maybe a train or bus. It's really easy and it's so beautiful. You have the views, the history. You want to have a wine tour. So I would like.
Yeah, Frascati, I do agree.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. If you want to just contact me privately, just alessandro@romewise.com. I would love to suggest maybe some day tour and maybe organize some private trip for you if you're interested. But thank you for this question.
I see Darren. Darren is a longtime watcher.
Yep.
And asking
Thank you,
the
Darren.
best place for selection of Italian charcuterie boards.
Mm-hmm.
We call these tagliere.
Tagliere. That's right.
Tagliere is like a cutting board, and some of my favorite places for this, one of the best places is going to be Sorpasso, over near the Vatican, so in Prati. It's, let's see, it's not easy to get into sometimes. You should try to book in advance if you want to go there, but Sorpasso is excellent. Also, a lot of people don't know this place. It's old school, but their salumi are these
Cold cuts.
cold cuts are absolutely wonderful. Is Achille al Parlamento.
Achille, Achille.
It's a wine bar near the Parliament. It's super old school. It's like very, like a gentleman's club kind of a thing, but they have incredible salumi. And another place that's actually quite good is Spiriti in
Spiriti.
Piazza di
Di
Pietra.
Pietra.
Piazza di Pietra, which is really close to the Pantheon with a huge temple from Emperor Hadrian. It looks kind of like the Pantheon, but it's not. And if you're here in summer, they do these light shows on the temple, showing a little bit about the history of the life of Hadrian. In the evenings. But yeah.
Absolutely. So sticking with the same topic here, which is food. I have someone just asking. I'm traveling to Italy in September, multiple cities. How easy/difficult will it be to eat dairy-free, just intolerant, not allergic?
Dairy-free. Italy is really easy to eat. Vegetarian, dairy-free, kosher, halal, gluten-free. Just the regular cuisine on its own, you can easily find foods to fit your needs. But I find that in general, restaurants are very amenable. They're very open to helping you when you say that you have some intolerance, that you can't or don't want to eat certain things. They will guide you. Even in just a regular Roman trattoria, you can find lots of vegetables.
From your breakfast, actually.
Yeah.
From your breakfast. You have a lot of dairy-free products such as oat milk or drink or rice drink or soy drink and all that's now it's really it's common. Absolutely. Even in bars or cafe. Yes, indeed. All right.
For those of you watching, please hang on because we're trying to get to all your questions. We still have more. So
sure. So we have
with
someone writing, from Greece. I am Maribu. Hello from Greece. I have watched every one of your videos in preparation for my trip to Rome. Thank you. Absolutely love this live. Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Yasu.
Yasu. Yes, sir. Anyway, so we have Underboss. We are going to stay next to the Trevi fountain and we'll be taking a train to spend the day in Florence. Is that train station within walking distance or what's the best way to get to the station? Let me respond real quick. Thank you for the question. Try to consider taxi. Taxi drive depends on the schedule that you have. Do you want to book on a train? It's going to be 10 to 15 minutes. It's easy to this test. Don't do. Okay, the metro, you can go to Piazza Barberini, walking distance from Trevi Fountain. Again, so put another 10 to 15 minutes to Piazza Barberini, which is the hub, like the closest metro station. Then you go downstairs, you take the train to Termini Station. You just arrive at Termini Station. If not, it's a day trip, so I assume you won't have any luggage. So again, a taxi drive will be easier. A little more expensive, of course, but easier in the door-to-door. And then, maybe on the way back you want to consider that. So again, metro station, 15 minutes walking from where you are. Average is 10 to 15 minutes. Up to Via del Tritone, you will see that. Barberini, it's the metro line, which is a line A. Termini, it's 3 stops. So you have, actually, it's 2 stops. It's a Repubblica Termini.
Oh,
so really
Andy,
close.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
So nice
Hello.
of you. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Really
you, Andy.
appreciate that.
Thank
tip.
you, Andy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very generous. Thank
Very
you.
nice of you.
All right, so
Evan
next
asks
question.
how we met and why did we stop Airbnb.
Oh gosh, it's not a fall season question, isn't it? So
I know, but people want to know. All right.
okay.
It is on the website on the About Me page, but
Yeah,
we met when I was backpacking.
And she was a Moretta, by the way, not blonde.
Yeah, I had darker hair then.
Yeah, she has a Moretta. She was a Moretta.
It was 1997, and I was traveling with a friend and came to stay in Rome, and he was working at this pensione. There was pensione back in the day.
Do you want to know the name even of this pensione? Is an historical, I'm not kidding, is an historical landmark. It doesn't exist anymore under the same name. I won't mention the new hotel. I was working there and I became a 4-star hotel, but I will mention for privacy. It was called Matilde.
Matilde. Yeah, we won't spend a lot of time on this because people have a lot of questions, but I'll just say that that's how we met. I was a tourist. He was working in a hotel. It was kind of love at first sight, and we got married in 1999, and we've been living here in Rome since 2001. We started our bed and breakfast, and we got out of the bed and breakfast business because a lot of people ask if we still have it. We don't.
No, we don't.
We got out because we were just sort of done. We had done it and had a lot of fun with it, but we were moving on to this business, which was more online services and trip planning, which is he's doing now. So it's easier to manage a business where you don't have maintenance and things like that. So that's sort of the short answer. I hope that helps.
There you go, Evan.
I
You
see
get it.
somebody has been asking
Yeah.
a few times about the beach in October
Yeah.
and in fall, and
Yeah.
either Stuart's been asking more than once, or a few other people have been asking this question. So
Yeah.
I went to Santa Marinella Beach, which is maybe an hour from Rome.
Is it
in
by train?
February. The beach is open. The beach is open in February. It's not warm though. Now October, I think that the beach is. You can definitely visit the beach. The beaches are open year round. What you may find is that the beach establishment. So we have this tradition in Italy of the beach club, and you can go and spend the day there. You just show up and you pay by the day. You don't have to be a member or anything. So it's very common to go and pay to go into a beach establishment where you have various facilities, things like showers and fitting rooms, and some places have full-on restaurants, some just have cafes. You can rent cabanas, you can rent umbrellas, etc. So a lot of those will close, the end of September?
It depends. Depend on the regions, okay? So Tuscany tends to close around, mid-September. So does Liguria all the way to the west coast up on the north. As in the Adriatic, sometimes you can stay until late September, first week of October, because of the weather. It's kind of milder. So south coastal cities and regions normally all the way to October, and including maybe some of the east coast, such as our region, and down to Calabria. But again, you can visit, definitely.
You can absolutely go to the beach. The beaches are open, and you'll find restaurants open year-round. People live at these beach towns, so there are things open. As for the water and how warm it will be, this is kind of up to you. When we go, we go to Greece every summer, and there are people from Norway and Finland and Sweden, and they're just swimming in May when the water's cold.
And for me, it's freezing, so I'm Italian.
So it sort of depends on you, and what you can tolerate.
But thank you for this question. So now let me thank you, Dana Ailey. Hello from the USA. Thank you for all your videos, especially for the videos and responses regarding to the Jubilee. We can't wait for our trip in September. You are so gracious with your knowledge. Thank you, Dana. Thank you very much. So next
Oh,
question.
and thank you, Darren. It's so
Thank you,
nice of
Darren.
you. Thank you so much for the tip. That's really, really,
So,
really appreciated.
We have John Piers from Nova Scotia, Canada. Love Italy and enjoy your videos. What's the easiest way to get from Rome to Sorrento? Okay, so Rome to Sorrento, train and private transportation. I would say train. Go to Naples first, and then maybe you can have you can hire a private driver, or you can check on the website to just have some private taxi.
We also have NaplesWise. Don't forget.
Absolutely. Use NaplesWise if you want, and then there will be plenty of this information. But again, so it's Rome to Naples. So once you get to the central station from Naples, you have different options.
I just want to say that I'm often asked things like, how do I get from here to there? How do I get from here to there?
Yeah.
I always use Rome to Rio. So it's Rome, then the number 2, then the word Rio, R-I-O. So R-O-M-E to R-I-O. This is an amazing website. It's free. I guess they just make money, if you book stuff through them. But it literally shows you how to get from point A to point B, including like from the door to the door. So if you say, how do I get from my hotel in Florence to this hotel in Milan, it will give you all of the options, metro plus train, etc. So I recommend Rome to Rio as your best bet for figuring out how to get around Italy. Now, how to get around Rome, I did a video about this. And for me, getting around Rome, it's easiest to just use Google Maps. Yeah.
But it's a great choice because Peninsula, as opposed to the Amalfi Coast, it's it's wide open. And yes, indeed, the Sorrento Peninsula could be a very good choice. Thank you for that. So
I see. Wait, I'm sorry. I see somebody asking. You do trip planning. Where do I get more information? So we don't really advertise this because it's sort of what can I say? It's sort of word of mouth, I guess. But Alessandro does trip planning, and he does it very, very well.
I've been doing this since 2018, since forever.
But he's been doing it full time since then. And if you want more information on this, without any obligation, I'm going to have the email address in the description of this video. This video will stay up on the channel, so you can refer back to it. We will put the email address. You just email him with your questions. He will then have a sort of introductory phone call, sort of a beginning phone call where you sort of feel out the situation and decide if if it's the right fit.
My MO and all that. So thank you for that. So thanks to Joanne Ruggeri. You guys are so great. And Alyssa, your videos have helped me so much. I've been to Rome many times and recently became a dual citizen. Auguri, Joanne. I love you guys.
Thank you so much.
Mary Elizabeth, I go next May. I'm using your site to plan the entire trip. Thank you. We are honored, Mary. Thank you very much. Now, I have another question, which is kind of a complicated, let me narrow it down.
All right. We like complicated.
Can you give any advice of how early to go line up to St. Peter's Square on Sunday mornings for the Pope's Angelus? Please stay with me because it's not,
Okay, I have an answer to that.
Can you tell me when the busy, crazy times on the metro are? I see videos of full platforms of people stuck way back trying to just get onto the platform to catch the metro. Or is it like that all day long? Also, I mainly plan on visiting churches while in Rome this fall for 4 nights. Are there public washrooms available at every church or not?
Okay, for the churches, every papal basilica has a restroom or a bathroom or toilet. I don't know of any other churches that have bathrooms, but the papal basilicas, all 4 of them do. As for the metro, I ride it different times of day, different times of the week, of the year, and it just varies. As you might imagine, mornings and late afternoons are going to be busy. This is rush hour in Rome, just like anywhere else. So no, it's not always crowded like that. One trick that I have is to always go to one end or the other. When you come down onto the platform, go all the way to one end or the other, and you're less likely to be in that middle super crowded section. Yeah. And the question about
the
Angelus.
The Angelus. Yeah.
So the Angelus is a great way to see the Pope. It's free, and his time, out on the little window when he comes out is exactly 15 minutes. So it's not as long as, say, a papal audience or a mass. So if you just want to get to see the Pope, he comes out of the window, and you can use your zoom lens or a camera to get a nice picture.
How far in advance you should, recommend
Yeah, so
to get there?
this starts at 12, and the thing is that there's no seating. You're going to get onto the square, and you just need to sort of position yourself on the square, and it's very dynamic. People sort of move around, everybody's excited. I would say getting down there for about 10:30. It's going to take you not very much time to get onto the square, maybe 20 minutes max in terms of security. Once you are past security, there is no further security. So once you're in the square and you've made it, you could then say go inside of St. Peter's Basilica while you're waiting for the Angelus. And when it gets close to 12 o'clock, you can come back out, go into the square, and that way you're sure to have a spot. You don't need to get down there at 7 or 8 or 9 in the morning. I say 10:30 is plenty.
Perfect. So we have a Philip Varasso, and thanks for your time. Thank you, Philip, for joining us. We are from Columbus, Ohio, and traveling to my ancestry region, Abruzzo, in October. Any recommendations, please? Let me take it here, if I may.
Yeah,
so,
I know Abruzzo a little bit less than he does.
Yeah, but
Pescara.
Pescara. It's
Yeah.
one of them, of course. But then you have the mountains and all that, as well as the seaside and all that. Yes. Let me tell you this and tell you real quick what I do think. When you treat this topic, a very delicate topic with ancestry, you want to reconnect with part of your family if they're still, around, and you want to feel the sense that you want to belong somewhere. It's very delicate. It's very nice. I had many customers and friends, helped in the past, in the recent past. It was like a challenging request to connect 3 generations from the U.S. to one small little town in provincia of Palermo in Sicily, and we made it. They made it. It was absolutely really touching to see the video. Finally, they didn't know each other, and I have a goosebumps even say that. If you want to contact me privately, again, so not because I want to push anything, just to have like an orientation call, I will be very happy to do so. The help, it depends on what you really want to do to achieve and all that. Depends how much time you want to invest at that, and if you want to stay around, you want to keep staying around and take the chances to maybe visit the country because of this. I hope I answered plenty of this question, but thank you for asking. Next, we have Veronica Segundo. How early do we need to arrive from the papal audience on Wednesday? How long does the audience last? So I think we responded.
Similar to other questions that I answered. Now the Angelus or the Angelus is different. The papal audience is going. Okay, so the papal audience starts at 9:30-ish. Yeah. But you really need to be down there literally when they open those gates at 7 o'clock so you can get a good spot. With the papal audience, you definitely want to be on the sides.
What about tickets?
What is it?
What about papal audience tickets?
Oh, it's free to get papal audience tickets. You just fill out the form on the website, a link to the website below. You just request papal audience tickets. You can go pick them up the day of or the day before at the Swiss Guard. This is right when you enter St. Peter's Basilica, so you could just go pick up your tickets. But you want to get to the audience at 7 if you can, because you want to get one of those side seats, because the Pope will ride up and down the aisles in the Pope-mobile. And if you have something, a rosary or something you want him to bless, if you're on the side aisle, you'll be able to, hand it up to him, and he will very likely be able to bless it.
Absolutely.
Or throw a little plushie.
Absolutely.
So that video where he caught a plushie with one hand.
You're right. So, very interesting question from a Happy Pilgrim. Is it safe for a solo female to be walking to and from metro stations at 5:30 a.m. to get a head start on the day?
I will say that I've lived in Rome since 1999. Well, 2001 was when I moved here. And I've really never felt unsafe here. Any big city is going to have sort of less savory areas, of course.
Yeah.
I know that there are stories sometimes about things happening in parks. I would never do something that I think logically wouldn't be safe, like walking alone through a park at night, or walking sort of down dark alleys. But walking to the metro, walking in a street in a busy city like this, I feel safe. I feel safe walking early in the morning, even late at night, alone. Again, just not sort of where you wouldn't in any big city, like alone down a dark.
Yeah. Let me add a piece of information, and I hope that this is, doesn't go too far. I was born and raised in a neighborhood which is still in the center of the city, which is called Castro Pretorio. It's relatively close to the Termini station metro, both in Castro Pretorio, named after the neighborhood. It was a kind of always, I'm 61 years old, and then, again, so since I was a toddler there, my father always recommended not to, hang around after or before a certain hour, and it still is kind of sketchy. So try to be conservatively aware of this. So except for Termini station, unless you're going very peripheral outside the ring of the Aurelian walls, the city center, then it's requiring maybe that early a taxi ride. Not safer, but it's more convenient. But if you want to jump from one metro station to another, Termini to Repubblica to Trevi Fountain and Spanish Steps and all that, no problemo at all.
Now, I'm going to say, guys, it's been an hour and we love talking to you, but we're going to start wrapping this up, and really sorry if we didn't get to everybody's question.
Sorry.
Some of you have submitted questions, and I'll answer those in the comments below. Anybody whose question we didn't answer, I will answer in the comments below. Every one of you, I will answer you. I would love to hear from you how this went. This was our first live, and I'd love to know if you'd like to do it again. We'll be happy to. I just want to know if you think this is a good way to answer a lot of your questions. I hope that a lot of you have found this useful, even if we didn't answer your specific question. So please drop me some comments below, and those of you who sent tips and just even the lovely comments that you follow us and watch all our videos and find them helpful, I'm extremely grateful. I really mean that. So let's take one more question, and then we are going to wrap this up.
Sure. Let's see. I don't want
Sorry, we have so many.
Yeah, sorry. Let's see. Let's pick Christine Ostry, family of 4, 2, 18 years old, spending 8 days on the ground in Rome. Would like to do 2 or 3 day trips outside Rome. What place it would be? Trip recommendation. Thank you. So you're going to spend even more than a week. So you do have a north and south of Rome, the both, quite popular region. You have a Tuscany, Umbria up on the north, and you have a south, indeed, first the region that comes to my mind, it's the Naples region or Campania. Both destinations are very well connected. To get to Florence from Rome requires a train ride of 1 hour and 20 minutes. When I say sharp, it is sharp unless there is a strike or any problem on the line. It's Italy after all. And 1 hour and 10 minutes to get down to Naples, from which you can have many other options. So indeed, north, consider Tuscany, Florence as the main hub. Train ride, 1 hour, 20 minutes. Down south, Naples. From Naples, the central station, hire a private driver to get to Sorrento, or if you're interested in an archaeological site, to get to Pompeii. Jump on a train alternatively, which is called the Circumvesuviana. It takes you straight to the Pompeii excavation. Once there, I highly recommend not to miss one of my favorite gallery museum, which is called the Archaeological Museum of Naples. Don't skip that.
That's where everything they found in Pompeii is in that museum.
It's amazing.
So if you go to Pompeii, you see the ruins, you see the villas,
right.
But the Archaeological Museum of Naples is where everything is that they found there, mosaics and sculptures, and it's incredible.
Consider also a group tours, maybe they provide some transportation. Consider a semi-private group tours, great for understanding, interacting with kids and teenagers. And even consider the third options, which is a private tour. And thank you for this, because it's really very nice for us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
I don't know your name, a happy pilgrim. I thank you so much.
But thank you very much.
I really appreciate it. And everybody, thank you for joining in. And I do apologize if we didn't get to your question, but I promise I will be answering them in the comments below. So thank you so much for your patience and for joining in, and I'll see you guys next week when I publish next week's video, which is going to be all about visiting Rome in August. And I've got lots more videos coming your way this fall. Let me know any videos you want to see. I'm always happy to make what you guys want to watch. So
love this. Absolutely. Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thank you very much.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Bye, everyone.